right, welcome back to Reality and Chill with Nishi and Kenny. Kenny, how are you going today?
Happy Friday. I love this shift, a little bit of a lunchtime podcasting. I'm all for it. Nish, how are you?
Good. I know it is a fun, like midday little recording session. I've got a busy weekend, so we're doing it a little bit early this week, aren't we?
That's it. That's it. I mean, it's
But
coming up to Christmas, so this is it. I mean,
there's so much going on.
weekends, exactly. It's cool. It's really cool. I'm into it. All
I know.
right. Well,
Wow.
Salt Lake City, episode
Yeah.
9. We're here.
Wow. It
I'm
is.
so glad it's not as the drunk, that whole kind of drunk cringe, but we're now moved to like another layer, which is just yeah, like
It's
it's just
insane.
gross. Golden, like older women behaving like this is so
You know
weird.
what? It really threw me because I didn't realize it was going to be such a big episode. Like, I haven't been on social media much, so like I didn't even get any like tidbits. I don't know if you heard any whispers about like how much of a full-on episode it was. I
No.
was I was taken off guard. So, anyways, let's get into it. Should we start at the start? They have
Yeah,
yoga
let's
with and Jason. We're
yeah,
still on the
that's
boat,
right.
but they're getting off the yacht. But yeah,
That's it. The ladies, of course, are hungover, but the way that giggly Heather is behaving just cringed me out with Dr.
same.
with Captain Jason. And it's like what I mentioned before, like the whole, oh, we did, oh no, we didn't. And just this playing with it. And I don't know if you saw on Watch What Happens Live, but Captain Jason was on this week and he clearly stated no, there was nothing that went on. But you just don't know. I think maybe he's embarrassed. But is she just, the way she's behaving is so, oh, it makes me feel so uncomfortable.
I know, it is so
Eh,
cringy, like, it feels
Yeah.
really high school, like, I feel like she wants to kind of show off if it did happen. She wants to, like, show it off a
No,
little
that's
bit. Do you get that?
definitely what it is.
Yeah.
100%. That's what it is. And then what I really kind of frustrates me is if roles are reversed and you had like a male behaving like that in front of a female yoga teacher. Like I just hate
Yeah.
the hypocrisy of these
Right.
behaviors. It's like it's just so unnecessary. Again, like hold yourself to a height. But you see that a lot with these older women, and they'll go and sit on guys' laps, and the guys don't really want it. And it's like women trying to hold on to their sexuality as they're going through
Right.
menopause. It's an ugly thing to watch, I think. And I think we should talk more about it as society because it is. I really feel like these women. It's like the archetypes of moving to the crow, that's like the last archetype of womanhood. And there's this kind of really tragic kind of fight of holding on to yourself as a sexual being. And I think once you're through it, you can clearly see it. And it's just horrible to see it. I would have done the same thing. All women probably do have a bit of a fight towards the end there. But
Yeah.
I think if we talk about it more as a society, maybe we can minimize that window. Maybe we could be more aware of it and then not like be kind of doing like really being on that line of sexually offensive behavior. And like, oh, we want to be
Yeah.
better. Women need to be better at this.
We wanna be
Yeah.
better, and it's like, poor Captain Jason, you're so right though, like, if roles were reversed, it wouldn't be nice, and I didn't watch What Happens Live, but I heard about Captain Jason saying that, and apparently she has gone in an interview and then, gone back and said, "Oh, is that what he said? Wink, wink." Like, still playing at it, like, just shut it down. Shut it
That's
down.
what I mean. Like from the very beginning, I could sort of pick it. Like that's what she was doing from
Yeah,
the
you
very
did pick
beginning.
it.
Like, oh, the coy stuff. And I just think, like I say, for most women now that are on the other side of all of this
Yeah.
nonsense, we can pick it so quickly. And that's why we should sort of like maybe help people through it and just sort of say,
Yeah.
hey, like maybe as a society, we've got to get more comfortable with the crow, you know?
Yeah.
So
I love
anyway, that's my
that.
point there for that scene. And it's
Yeah.
followed on. Was there anything else from the yoga scene that you thought was
No,
worth?
that's it. I just wanted to say it was a bit cringe, but yeah,
It was
then
cringe.
I had next that we go into sort of the unicorn, Bronwyn bringing the unicorn. Was that what was next?
Yeah, it was. It was kind of like Meredith and Lisa in bed, right? And just
Oh, yes.
slamming in on Brittany. And then
Yeah.
that's right. You've got Bronwyn sort of coming in towards the end of that conversation with the unicorn, which I love the whole unicorn thing. But I did think you could see that meanness starting to build up in that,
Yeah.
just, like, oh, she's just a tin man. And my notes here were I think Britney was mean to bring that into the field. I think they've been mean to Britney, and it's the whole thing that if you don't take the higher road, this is what you get. You just
Yeah.
get a mirroring of the mean. It's like everything you're calling out what that person is, you then become because you're not taking the higher road, and you can see it just consistently on
Are,
both sides.
are you saying that Meredith was calling out that she was mean? Who's calling it out that you're saying?
Yeah, Meredith is saying at that point that she's got no brain, right? So Meredith
Yeah.
is starting to be mean, but she's sort of saying that Brittany was mean by
Right.
bringing up that her husband, and it's just that whole thing that, okay, so you're calling somebody's behaviors out and then you'll end up mirroring. It's just this
Right.
hate kind of reflection. And
Absolutely.
like, it doesn't work. It just ends up going into this spiral of like really yuckiness. So,
I
yeah,
know.
it's a bummer because I expect more from Meredith, honestly. She's a
I
classy woman normally. What's going on there?
What is going on? It started to get really messy. But yeah, I thought I
Yeah.
actually thought the unicorn thing could have been a little bit more lighthearted, but there was an underlying sort of meanness to it. And I think even Bronwyn stirring the pot there by bringing that and saying, "What do you want to do with it?" Because Meredith didn't want to play like that game with the unicorn. She's like, I don't want to be anywhere near Brittany and her things, you know? But I felt like Bronwyn was really pushing that, and maybe it was for a little bit of fun, bit of a storyline, like, oh, look fun and funny. I kind of get that. But I just don't think that Meredith is the person to do that, because Meredith has this shocking relationship with Brittany at the moment. She's constantly been mean. Anything that Meredith does to Brittany is just not landing well. Like we talked about it in the previous episodes, her even pouring the jug. It was always
Yeah.
a little bit too far. They try to
Yeah.
play it off as playful, but it was like, hold on a minute. You're not coming from a jovial, sort of light-hearted, wait, you're coming, you know what I mean? There is an underlying sense of meanness and
You're quite
hatred.
right. You're quite right. Playful has got to do with that relationship you've already got with that person. So if it's strained and it's already in a kind of toxic space, then anything that's lighthearted is not going to be lighthearted. Like
It's not
it
gonna
lighthearted
land.
lighthearted doesn't exist in toxic relationships. It's a
No.
really good point. So whereas it had it been somebody else that was
Yeah.
closer, it could have been really fun. It could have been like, but
Yeah.
yeah, but you're quite right with Meredith, no way. And like Bronwyn wouldn't even sleep in the same room as her, so it is like a punishment. No, you're quite right. I did think when Bronwyn was talking about it later, she was playing the victim a little bit about it.
Yeah.
But it'd be enough to say like it's just another example of the bullying, but to act like she was like truly hurt that the unicorn was sentimental, like I just I couldn't buy it. I couldn't
Yeah,
buy it.
that I was like, okay, she was really upset, and I think them seeing
Mm,
that, they're going, I think then Bron was like, "Oh, crap, like, we really did cross the line here." Like, even
yeah.
if Bronwyn played around with it a little bit and just did something to the unicorn, I think it would have stayed in that lighthearted feel, like, but the moment that Meredith is involved, it's kind of like all bets are off, and I guess this is where it all starts to really spiral.
So, and again, what we can see now is Bronwyn using the fact that we both are, not enjoying Brittany. So let's have this like alliance that,
Mm,
and it's a way for Bronwyn to like get close, Bronwyn to get close to Meredith in that instance. And it's a little bit like when Lisa and Brittany were, had that short alliance.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's just interesting to see when that happens. Uh,
I
yeah. Like,
know.
they're not fair weather friends, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I thought then we moved to the breakfast, right? So after all of that, and I did love the costumes they're wearing. I think it's awesome that Brittany has brought her A game with the shark and the crayfish and that. Did you like those?
Oh, Bronwyn. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Bronwyn, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I
Yeah,
really
she's
love those.
always
Yeah,
quirky with that stuff, and I think it brings some comedic relief. Like, it's just very her. I think it's funny.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Breakfast.
oh, breakfast. I forgot about breakfast. I actually forgot to write that down. Yeah. So, oh, yeah, well, it's all surfacing now, isn't it? Like,
The
oh,
flicking
yeah.
of the hair of Meredith, like and it just felt again like it was like you could just see it was these really over the top, hungover women. Like that's what it
Mm.
felt like to me.
They're
Like
tired, yeah.
really being so dramatic. And even Brittany, when she sort of, I've written down this statement, when she's sort of trying to explain herself, she's like, I say one thing that is meant to be in kindness, which is
Mm,
about talking about what Meredith's husband having an affair, having a mistress. Like, clearly that's not kind. So
that's
Brittany, you're not doing herself any favors either.
no.
Um, and yeah, and again, just Mary was the only one really making any sense. Where in her confessionals, she's like so busy trying to get their point across. Like, it's just, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing you can do to help these women. Like, they're
No.
just so stuck in their circular nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you bring a good point into like in the sense of like the context. It's day 3, they're tired, they're hungover, they've been on this rocking boat, they're all feeling rubbish. So it doesn't that's that's starting off on the wrong foot. But like, yeah, it's just really messy at this point. Brittany,
So messy.
Bronwyn's trying to help Brittany and say, just let it go, let the mouse go. You know, she's still going at it. And then Meredith is like flicking her hair, turning her back towards her, and just saying like she's not having a bar of it. And you know what? I'm not trying to downplay what Meredith is doing, but when Brittany brought this up with the whole TikTok situation, I knew this was not going to end well. Like, this is not an even fight. You've got like a shark, you know what I mean? And like a tiny little fish here. And that's why I said last episode, I'm like, Brittany is very ballsy to bring this up to Meredith. It was never going to end well. In my head, I could just see it. So I was shocked that she even brought it up. At the same time, I'm just can't stand how Meredith is handling all of it. I knew she'd lose her lid, but I can't believe how far it ended up going.
It went. And, why is it that she's lost her lid so much? Is it because as the popular girl, she should never be challenged? And then we got to look at the power dynamics, like, is it really the fact that you've got somebody that's meant to be the lowest peg,
Right.
which is the new person that they're all kind of like suckily bullying anyway. And so for her to like come at the big dog needs to make a really big like presentation. Because what if somebody at the lowest level can challenge me, then what does it mean like further up the hierarchy when I've got how am I going to keep all these girls at bay type of thing? I feel like
Right.
it was really primal response.
It
Um,
was. Yeah.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good
So
point.
there's something there in the hierarchy space and like her position. That I think is kind of almost on a subconscious level that the attack back, because one, it's not serving her. Now people think maybe something is going on in the
Right.
marriage. Like, 'cause there's no benefit to her
No.
behaving this way. I literally think it's a threat to the hierarchy of that top position, that if somebody at the low position is taking you on, then there's a massive overreaction, perhaps. I don't know.
Absolutely. No, I
Yeah.
actually really like that theory. That actually tracks because even Brittany says she says in the morning when they're doing yoga, she's like, I just can't stand that it's like a disproportionate amount of backlash that I'm getting, because Brittany is right. She's like, everyone brings stuff up about partners, and let's be honest, in the realm of housewives, it's part of the territory. If
Yeah.
things get brought up, like they bring it to the surface and they talk about it during filming. Like that's what happens, right? It's not the first time.
Especially in a comeback, right? Especially like you wouldn't expect somebody to bring up a nonsense rumor,
Right, of
but
course,
if
yeah.
they've been pushed to the point where they've like they've got to fight back some way. Like,
Yeah,
it's kind of, I think it's definitely within the realms of housewives, kind of playbook that,
yeah,
yeah, that kind of is a normal thing she did. I don't think it was that bad. If you're going to be pouring water, be
yeah,
mean to her constantly, then yeah, she's gone to fight back. Yeah. So
right. And so
Meredith's
mm,
response, wow. Wow. Rewatching it, I'm with you now, Nish. It's like, wow.
it is insane. I was just really, really shocked. So yeah, I mean, that breakfast, you could just see it all sort of unfolding and it's just getting messy. And I also was like, why are they sitting next to each other? Like, the producers probably made them sit. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but when I was rewatching it, I
No,
noticed
no,
that,
I noticed 100%.
right?
Yeah, that was
Then,
really interesting. The breakfast kind of
yeah,
sitting
like
position.
Bronwyn, empty seat, and then Meredith. And so Brittany just sat in that empty seat right next to Meredith. And I'm like, it's too fresh for them to be sitting right next to each other. They didn't need to be right next to each other. It's too much. Yeah, and
'Cause
they're just
the
so
night
annoying.
the night before when she, pulled the thing off her head and then threw it at Brittany as well, like, it's just been these over exaggerated, and like I said before, I think what Lisa's done to Meredith in the past has been, like, a million times worse. That on Mike moment and all of that, and, like, never really, do you know what I mean? So it's so bizarre. We've seen her be accosted by different people, by Angela, and like she can get a bit over the top, but nothing like she's been with Brittany. So, yeah, it's just fascinating. It's very fascinating.
It is, and yeah, I mean, I really like your theory about the whole primal thing, and she's just putting her back down in her pecking order, like, "Back down where you belong, darling." That's what she's doing
Right?
there. Yeah.
Because I was sort of writing down, I was like, okay, I really want to see, initially they were saying that the bullying started at the airport, and then there was another like version where it wasn't the airport, it started when they'd boarded, like she was the last to board, and that's when it started. So I was like, oh, maybe there's something to, but then like once you listen over and over, I got it completely. Like, no, this has really happened. And she's literally pulling hair. She's shaking seats. This is so high school. This is why I think it's almost on a subconscious level. Like, it's just so bizarre, this behavior. And then I thought maybe she's taken some type of sleeper pill, some type of pill to help with the long flight or something. And so then it's brought up this type of behavior. But there's no doubt, like, something has triggered her, whether that be like a chemical thing, something she's taken, or whether it be like a subconscious thing of Brittany challenging her hierarchical position. Meredith, we've never seen the side of you. Like, what what is going on? Like,
It's
what's
so
going on?
ugly. And, like, yeah, 100%, and I've heard a few things where a lot of people are saying, yeah, maybe it is a chemical thing, taking some sort of Valium or something, and then
Ah,
also drinking wine, you know, there's
yeah,
lots of, like, theories and stuff out there, but I'm like, "You know what? At the end of the day, the way that she treated her is just so inappropriate." It is bullying. I mean, like,
100%.
she's in a seat and you when you're in a plane, like, you're in this small
To
contained area, you
to
know.
to just to talk about somebody loudly so other people can hear in itself is bullying. That's just
Right.
horrible in itself, right?
Exactly, and
And like, and it
torture.
just keeps on escalating. Yeah,
Right, and
exactly.
you
For a
can't
whole flight,
yeah, you can't it's like whatever, however long, it's quite a long
can't
flight.
escape it.
She can't
Yeah,
escape it, and I think that's sort of the key thing. She was forced to just sit there and listen. It was so loud that she could hear it through her headphones. Mary could hear from the other side of the plane, supposedly. Everyone heard it, and I just don't like how Meredith doesn't take accountability. So when you see them obviously, it sucks that we didn't have any sort of camera footage, so we're going by what they're saying. But I think every one of the girls' stories match up. They all said how intense it was. Like, I think, yeah, Whitney said it was like unhinged. Even Lisa, when she was replaying it back to her husband in the car, was like it was out of control.
so
Um,
there's also a possibility, though, that the other girls, when you see the top girl suddenly being, the crown's coming off, then they go in for the kill. So they're really maximizing the opportunity as well. So there is a possibility, and even Lisa, because we've seen her be such a turncoat anyway, that there's blood in the water now, and now we're really going to, put it on thick. But yeah, I think, yeah, I'm kind of, it could be either way. We haven't seen any footage. We don't know for sure. So it's just your intuition as to
yeah.
what you think it is. But my intuition was firstly that, okay, a bit exaggerated from the girls. And then after watching it again, it's like, no, these guys were bullying her. And I think I think she just wanted to really put her back to teach her a lesson. So it's just
Mm.
really revolting. It's really revolting.
It's so revolting. I was like literally tearing up when Heather was talking to Brittany and Brittany was saying how she felt and she just felt so like really knocked down and she just couldn't do
Low.
anything and low. Like you could tell
Yeah.
at that point she was just when you feel just defeated and there's nothing else you can do and then she just like fell into
Yeah.
that. Like, you don't do that to someone. These are grown women. This is like at the end of the day, they're colleagues, they're friends, supposedly. Like, it's not okay in any environment. And honestly, I felt so strongly about it. I was like, I feel like Meredith should actually be suspended if that's what actually happened. That's how I feel
Yeah.
about it. I'm like, no, this is like, what is Housewives becoming if this is accepted behavior?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because the week before Brittany had been on Watch What Happens Live, and I noticed that Andy was super nice to her, and I wasn't, and I sort of clocked it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And he opened the show up by going, "You are," and pretending to be Meredith, and one of her like longer rants at Brittany in this, but not in a mean way, in a taking piss out of Meredith way. And I thought, oh, that's interesting, given the whole New York scene. She's a DJ, I'm sure they're at a lot of the same parties, but yeah,
Mm.
he's clearly not okay with her behavior either. So that
Mm.
was definitely the vibe I got from that episode.
Okay, I need to
Yeah.
watch that.
Yeah, definitely watch it. It was good. And the Captain Jason one as well. Both
Yes.
are good to give another context, to the whole. Talking of that, like I keep on calling him Doctor Captain Jason. Um, Watching Captain Jason on Watch What Happened, one of the audience members, like I think, yeah, it was an audience member, sort of stood up and said, "Hey, why has Aisha not invited you to a wedding yet? Captain Sandy has been invited," and it goes with what I was saying before, that Aisha, like, I feel like Aisha and Captain Jason didn't have great chemistry, and I wasn't really enjoying it. I stopped watching Below Deck, and now they've put together this kind of really awesome crew, which is Ben
Mm.
as the chef,
Okay.
Daisy, Chief Stew. And yeah, from what we can gather, it's working really well. But just interesting that my intuition, which was like, oh, Aisha's getting on my nerves. I think that's why they've kind of swapped it around, is that Captain Jason and Aisha weren't getting along. So we'll see what happens. She's back with Captain Sandy now. So yeah.
That's really interesting because I thought Captain Jason and
Mm.
Aisha were very close. So I'm actually shocked to hear that he wasn't at her wedding. Did he say why? Did he?
Maybe something else. Yeah, I don't know. But no, he said, hey, no, it's normal to that, but it's not normal. You wouldn't not invite one captain and not the other. Like, come on. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially they
It,
feel like they have that sort of relationship. One's from Australia, New
yeah.
Zealand. They've got that bond. I don't know, and they seem close. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very, very interesting.
I know, right? Kind of interesting. So yeah, that was just on a side note.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Full on. What are your thoughts on Meredith's response? So when Mary sits down with Meredith.
Mary is literally somebody that I feel has integrity and is principled, and regardless of how it's going to be perceived, or how, and regardless if you agree with her principles or you agree with what she's thinking, it is her truth. And I don't think she can be manipulated or swayed. This is why I'm really enjoying Mary. And so I, when Heather sat down with Lisa, um, yeah, it was Lisa, wasn't it? Was it
Yep.
Heather sitting down with Lisa and then Meredith sat down? Yeah. So I found that, like, that, just Heather's behavior, it just annoyed me straight away. I didn't get that with Mary. You could see her heart was open. She was trying to find this common ground, this
Mm.
space where, hey, look, that's not how you normally behave. Like, something was going on there. And yeah, Meredith wasn't having a bar of it. She just doubled down. And
Mm.
I think it's sad because I think Mary really was coming to help her back to a place. And she even said, for your mental health,
Mm.
I'm actually, yeah, for you to actually own your stuff, I think it would be advisable.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Like Mary was the best person to have that conversation because if it was anyone else, they would have probably attacked her and really put her down for what she did. Whereas Mary did come from,
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like imagine Whitney having that conversation or even Heather, they would
It,
have just,
they'd be taking shots, right? Whereas Mary did the high ground. She's literally not going to go, oh, I'll meet you where you're at. It's
yeah,
like, I'm going to open a path for you to, to be a better version of yourself.
right.
So I
Yeah.
really respect Mary for that. And I thought she did an amazing job. And I think no matter how good Mary's is at that, Meredith wasn't going to take the bait. wasn't going to, she's,
No.
yeah.
Meredith has this narrative that she's sticking to. And, she's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't that deep. There would have been an air marshal there if it was that bad, which I don't like when she says that because I'm like, it doesn't have to be that bad to, like, you know what I mean? Like, is that your bar? Like, that you're comparing it to? Like,
Yeah, and it's also like, hang on a minute, if you could just have enough humility to say, look, if all the cast is feeling this way, and Brittany actually did, like, perhaps there's something that I wasn't aware of. Maybe there's something I need to address in myself. Like, you don't even have to admit complete,
No.
like, but you could at least go that far to go,
Right.
look, maybe there's something I need to look at and address. Right now might not be the right time because I still feel very threatened by what Brittany did to me, whatever. But like,
Right.
at least something. But to give
Acknowledgement.
zero, zero, yeah,
Acknowledgement, and she's back she's double like you said, she's double tripling down because she's like, "Mary, you don't know what happened, you were on the other side of the plane." Like, she's just like, "No one knows," and
that's right.
yeah, and she's just
It,
like
the,
and even Mary kind of was like, "It's not what you think," because I think she said, "Oh, Mary, it's not what you think," and Mary said, "Oh, it's not about what I think, I know what I saw, like, I was there, I have my own 2 eyes, my own 2 ears," and this is where I really think it all happened because, like you said, Mary doesn't take shots. You know how before you were saying it could be the girls just lathering on and piling on to
yes,
Meredith? I don't think so, only because of Mary, because
I
Mary's been
agree.
my gauge in this
Yeah.
situation and she said it was that bad. And she's like, nah. Like right is right, wrong is wrong. And this was absolutely
I'm
wrong.
with you on this one, Nish. Yeah, 100%. And yeah, you're right. So it was that, what do they call it again when you're trying to tell somebody that they're going crazy type of thing? It's, guys do
Intervention.
it to girls all the time. No, no,
Oh,
no. Like when I can't remember the word for it. It'll come to
gaslighting.
me later. Gaslighting. Like it was
Yeah.
the classic
Yeah.
gaslighting that Meredith was applying.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, and
Yeah.
yeah, Mary was perfect to stand in her power and not have that influence her at all,
At all.
and also not drop to her level. Could you
Yeah.
imagine she tried that approach on some of the other girls? They wouldn't have been able to manage,
No.
like, you're gaslighting me, and so now I'm going to come back with my own under kind of handed, whatever method they're going to use to be just, a pretty shitty person. But Mary didn't fall for it, and
No.
she held her ground, like, respect, really big respect. Yeah.
Absolutely. She stood in her truth and, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. I'm shook. I'm just really shook about it all. And what about so what are your thoughts on Lisa's involvement with what's going on?
I mean, Lisa's such a turncoat. Like, just how quickly she turned. Like, I do think that Heather's probably right in that Lisa was drumming it up,
Yeah.
like enjoying it at the time, like sort of stoking the fire, so to speak. But then, she's with her husband in the car ride home, and she's like, "Oh, my hands weren't dirty," type of thing, and it was just me trying to stop Meredith, going nuts. So one, she's throwing Meredith under the bus by
Mm,
clearly stating like how unhinged she was. I think that's the word she actually used,
yeah.
unhinged. Um, so that one, and then two, she's taking no accountability. Like, she's trying to act like she was trying to do the right thing. And I don't believe Lisa for a silly second there. No way.
Yeah. I don't believe Lisa either. She should have she said, look, in her defense, she said she tried to simmer her down. I don't know. And I think she also said she tried to say to Brittany, just show her the TikTok so we can shut this down. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I can kind of see both sides. Like, maybe she's like, Brittany, just show it so Meredith will stop.
That's fine. It's like fine if you just ask once, as if it's just ongoing and
Uh,
just, it's a
uh,
collective thing, right?
right. And
Yeah.
it's tone as well. Like, it's,
Mm.
I think I'm surprised more of them didn't actually intervene earlier. If they could hear from the other side of the plane, if they could, all this stuff's going on. And then Brittany even said the air hostess kept coming in and checking on her and saying, that's when it actually made me tear up.
Why
She's
wouldn't you
like,
why wouldn't you offer your seat? Hey, how about we swap seats? I
right?
agree with that. Like, I would just say, hey, look, Brittany, do you want to sit over in mine if I was Mary or whatever? Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. Like, yeah,
I'm
kind of a
not clear
strange
on,
situation.
yeah, how people started to intervene and at what point. Because was it by the end that it sounded like they all consoled her at the end because she just started crying and once the plane landed. But I'm like, hold on a minute. If you can hear all this nonsense going on, someone pull Meredith in line if Lisa can't handle it. You know what I mean? Like, and they're
Yeah,
also
I
in
do.
first class. These poor other, passengers that are sitting next to it having to deal with it all. And you can't escape. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, it really is.
But yeah, I didn't.
So,
Yeah, go on.
I mean, Brittany was just like, I can't believe Lisa would turn on me. So I think part of really why she was so upset is she's being bullied. She's definitely being bullied by Meredith, but I think the Lisa coming in on it, she literally thought, and remember how I said this is an alliance. Let's see how long this starts. I think Brittany thought, oh wow, I'm in with one of the popular girls, like they're kind of bonding and stuff. And then Lisa just first opportunity has doubled, and I think that's part of it. I think that's really what broke her is like, oh my God, like this is so mean from somebody I've actually been kind to. So
Mm, yeah,
yeah.
disappointing for Brittany.
Mm.
I'm excited to see the next episode because I don't know how this all unfolds. It looks like Mary has some sort of lunch or something to try and get everyone to mend.
All right, but the other key thing that happened, and
Oh
I'd
yeah.
forgotten about this, so it's so interesting. Remember how we were chatting last night, and I was like, I only really remember this whole Meredith thing, but I know so much more happened in the episode. And then I rewatched it, and I was like, oh my God, that is a massive, which is Bronwyn and her husband,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I know.
Huge,
Yes, huge.
huge.
Yeah, I did note that down actually, but there was so much yeah. Well,
Yeah. And even
yeah.
just then, I'd forgotten about it, but because of my notes, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, of course. Like this is like a huge thing because it's more important in a way. Like that is horrible and I hate what's happened, but we're talking about a marriage breakdown and we're talking about somebody struggling with their identity in that marriage, I think. But yeah, we need to unwrap this. This is crazy. So
So
let's sort of just do an intro that
yeah.
so what's happened here is that she's got home and she's heard that her husband has been looking at pictures of girls on a flight and has been observed doing that, and then she's kind of sort of saying that they need terms of an open marriage and that she wanted to drive this, and I just feel yeah, okay, so that's kind of it in a nutshell with Whitney. But yeah, okay, you
So
give me your thoughts first because
well, so hold on. So I was trying to clarify, and I didn't quite get it. So was Todd receiving text messages from a girl? Or was he actually looking at pictures of random girls? Because when I read it back and I read the like subtitles, it sounded like he was receiving texts or like pictures of some girl sending him pictures in lingerie, like through text message, which is a whole different thing.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it was enough for it to be a really big deal. Like if a guy's just looking at girls, like pictures of girls, that's not reportable. It
Right.
could be, but if it's, yeah, this sounds like a much bigger deal. It sounds like,
He's actually having, yeah.
um,
And the fact that look, my thoughts on it. Initially, I was surprised that Bronwyn actually was so open about all of it. Like she just brought it straight up herself to Whitney, and I was really surprised at how
mm,
vulnerable she was, and she just openly admitted that she 100% believes it. And then I actually really respected the conversation that Bronwyn and Whitney had in terms of them being so open about their dynamics with their partners and the challenges that they have. I was surprised that they were so open about it. But I actually felt really sorry for Bronwyn because she's trying to navigate this. And it really threw me off guard that Todd would even do something like this. I was
it's
shocked.
so, it's so gross. So I've got a bit of like, I feel like with these women, they're in a power dynamic where the guy is what, 25 years,
Yeah,
whatever, older,
exactly.
very wealthy. So I feel like, so what, he's been, I don't know, like for me, I felt like Bronwyn was almost trying to save face. And I've heard this on another podcast. Like there was
Uh,
like a bit of like, oh, I'm going to get ahead of this so
right.
that I'm
Makes
the one that, whereas I kind of felt like, wow, because you can see when they're together, like how dominant he is. And, we
Absolutely.
saw it with the cherry and stuff. So it's almost like this massive power dynamic in that
Absolutely.
relationship. It must have been there, but I don't know when. I feel for Bronwyn so much. I want her to pull the plug on that relationship.
Yeah.
I think I think it's different with Whitney. I feel like you can see real love between the two of them, like,
You
and
can.
I do think Whitney is like one of those sexual you know,
Yeah.
kind of reminds me a little bit, in Potomac. What's her name again?
Ashley.
Potomac? Ashley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
But Ashley's a better version of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whitney pushes a bit much, but But, you can see there's some girls that like a trip. I don't think Bronwyn's one of those girls. And I think it's
No.
because of her husband. And so I think she's trying to get ahead of it. And again, I just don't think with everything that's gone through with her life, like her focus on materialistic stuff and not on like the core things that are,
Important.
yeah,
Yeah.
it makes me sad. It actually makes me really sad. So yeah, I think it's gross. I think she should dump her husband. That's my vibe about it.
Yeah, their relationship is, you're right, the power dynamic is just so out of whack. But you can see she's in that conversation, it sounds like she sort of still wants to hang on to it and she's gonna like make it work in whichever way works for him.
That's what I mean.
And it's
So
like,
so for the materialistic stuff, that's exactly it. So and I think she's trying to now act like, oh no, I'm all okay with this. I don't think she's naturally okay with it.
no, you're right. I don't think she is either. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Actually, when you compare Justin and Whitney with Todd and Bronwyn, there's definitely a lot more love with Justin and Whitney's
Yeah.
relationship. And this part, yeah, I think even with their Justin and Whitney, Whitney has more of a voice as well. Like I feel like it's less of
100%.
like less disparity. Whereas with these two, I really think that Bronwyn ends up being like a 4-year-old girl with her dad. That's how it feels like to me when they're talking.
Yeah, I agree completely. Like it doesn't feel like the power dynamic is off. It doesn't feel good. It
No.
doesn't look good, doesn't feel good. Whereas with Whitney and Justin, it's like, okay, they've been honest about their ups and downs in marriages. You can see they're both a bit freaky here and there. But yeah, the power balance doesn't feel like it doesn't feel wrong or
Mm.
off at all. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, yeah. I mean, when they showed some snippets for the rest of the season, it did look like Brittany was not okay with Todd. I don't know whether they broke up or what. Not Brittany, Bronwyn. Um, yeah, it sounded like she wasn't on good terms with Todd, and I don't know whether their relationship is going to last.
Let's hope. I mean, now she's got a job, right? Now she's
Mm.
got some independence. It just depends how addicted she is to the materialistic stuff because, like, I mean, yeah, that's just what we see from the outside, but it really doesn't look healthy. It looks
Yeah.
gross,
Do you know
and
what?
I want better for her. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Same. It kind of reminds me of Erica and her ex.
That's so true. Yes. Like
What's his name?
really like just shutting her down, like seeing this strong woman with so much like opportunity, focus on materialistic stuff, focus so much on their image so that they don't even have to really
Yeah.
deal with the reality of it. Oh, it's so gross, Nish.
And it was
It's
really sick to
cringe.
watch. I used to hate seeing, well, I forget her ex's name now because he's not on Erica's. Anyway, I used to hate seeing her talk to her partner because it was just, again, she just would get shut
Yeah,
down. It was so dismissive the way
it's
he would
so
talk to
gross.
her. But yeah, like she was really over the top with all of her material, her items. That was like her identity. Similar with
Yeah,
Bronwyn. And now
yeah.
she's been stripped away from that. She's starting from scratch, which is, I mean, a nice comeback for her, and I think it's great for her. But yeah, interesting to see if Bronwyn goes down that
But
path.
yeah, it's like it like literally is, well, you sold out. And it's like, well, if I sold out, I better make it worth the while. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like on
it
some
does.
type of level. Like and then but like then vocally and consciously they're not aware that they've really sold out. So they try and sort of bend and oh, he's such a strong man and this is it.
Yeah,
But like you've sold out and
right.
materialistically you're trying to, yeah, clearly get your bang for your buck.
Yeah, they're
But oh,
overcompensating, and they're just like,
yeah, big
oh,
time.
oh,
Love it. Well,
eh,
that's a wrap.
that is a wrap. What an episode! That was a
I
good
know.
episode, though. Crazy,
It
but
was
good.
good. It was a good episode because it wasn't like drunk behavior. You know what I mean? Like you had real conversations and yeah, except that first scene, but which was just a hangover. But yeah, it wasn't that really crazy drunk over the top behavior, which I hate. And if it did exist, it was on the plane and we didn't have a recording of it. So instead it was like really interesting conversations where we get to dissect and understand Where are these women coming from? What are their alliances? And, why are they behaving in like mean, horrible ways?
Exactly.
Except for Mary.
Yeah, except for Mary. Right.
Excuse
Well,
me.
that is a wrap for Salt Lake City. Lovely chatting,
Good
Kenny.
stuff. Good
We'll
stuff.
chat soon.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know why I've got a cough.